morning, students. Welcome to the digital classroom with Holy Heart Schools. Today, we are going to continue with our chapter Natural Regions of the World. A natural region may be defined as an area of an earth throughout which similarities prevail in relief, climate, temperature, soil, rainfall, vegetation, and human activities. In earlier videos of this chapter, we have already learnt about the equatorial region, tropical grasslands, tropical monsoon, hot desert regions, Mediterranean regions, continental cool temperate regions, and temperate grassland regions. In today's video, we are going to discuss about taiga and tundra regions. While going through these topics, we will be learning some new words like number 1, transpiration, the loss of water through the stomata of the leaves. Number 2, lumbering. Lumbering means cutting down of trees for the commercial purposes. Number 3, finish. Finish means barren land. Number 4, permafrost. Permafrost means the ground which is permanently frozen. Now students, please open up your page number 155, Taiga region. But before starting up with the topic of the day, let's have a brief about the topic. Location and extent. The coniferous forest or the taiga region lies as a broad continuous belt between 55° north to 70° north. This region stretches between the tundra region to the north and the temperate grassland region to the south. A unique feature of this region is that it is only found in the northern hemisphere. It is not found in the southern hemisphere as no land mass extends beyond 55 degrees south, except Antarctica, which is a cold desert. In North America, the taiga region extends from the Pacific coast to Atlantic coast, covering the parts of southern Alaska and southern Canada. And in Eurasia, it is a continuous belt that covers northern part of the Scandinavian countries, which includes Norway, Sweden and Finland. This belt of forest further stretches across Russia from Baltic coast to the Pacific coast. So now students, let's start with the reading of the topic today. Location and area. The taiga region occurs as a broad belt in Europe, Asia and North America. It extends from about 50 to 55° north and to about 65° to 70° north latitudes. This region lies between the temperate grasslands in the south and polar tundra in the north. Now here, temperate grasslands are the short grasslands found as prairies in North America, pampas in South America, steppes in Eurasia and as wells in Africa. In North America, the taiga region extends from Alaska in USA across Canada to Hudson Bay in the east. In Europe and Asia, it extends from Scandinavian Peninsula. Scandinavian Peninsula includes the country of Norway, Sweden and Finland, and it is called a peninsula because it is surrounded by water on three sides, to across the Russian Siberia to Bering Sea in the east. The taiga region is conspicuous by its total absence in the southern hemisphere as there is no landmass in these latitudes. Conspicuous means attracting attention. Now next we have the climatic conditions of taiga region. This region experiences a short warm summer season which lasts only for about 4 months in a year. The mean temperature of the hottest month, that is July, is about 20 degrees Celsius. This region experiences long duration of sunlight, that is about 18 hours at 60° north latitude. So sometimes the temperature during the day is even 30 degrees Celsius. The winter season is extremely long and cold. It lasts for about 8 to 9 months. Many places have temperature below the freezing point for more than 8 months. The duration of sunlight may be for 5 or 6 hours a day due to the fact that the sun remains at very low angle in winter season. The mean temperature of the coldest month may be minus 10 degrees Celsius or less. The annual range of temperature is about 40 degrees Celsius because taiga is very far away from the moderating effect of the sea. Verkhoyansk, located in the eastern Siberia in this region, has minus 68 degrees Celsius in winter. It is also known as a cold pole and it is the coldest inhabited place in the world. This area also experiences swift blowing cold polar winds, which is known as blizzards in Canada and Buran in Europe and Asia. The mean annual rainfall of this region is low, that is only about 50 centimeters. It is mostly in the form of dry snow. This is because the evaporation is low due to the extreme cold temperature. So now let's come back to our reading. Climatic conditions. The taiga region experiences bitterly means extremely cold winters for about 8 to 9 months and cool short summer for about 3 to 4 months. The spring and autumn seasons are brief transitional periods. Transitional means changing of the periods between the summer and the winter season. In the winter season, the temperature is below the freezing point. Because these areas are very near to the poles, so mostly the temperature are below the freezing point. The Siberian taiga region records the lowest minimum temperature at Verkhoyansk, that is minus 68 degrees Celsius, and this I have already told before. The temperature during the brief summer season increases rapidly. July, being the warmest month, has an average temperature of about 15 degrees Celsius. The taiga region has well distributed low annual precipitation ranging between 35 degrees centimeter and 60 centimeter. And here the precipitation means the falling of the condensed water vapors from the atmosphere in the form of rainfall, snow, hail, sleet, etc. And as I have already told before, in this region the precipitation is mostly in the form of snowfall because of the extremely cold climate. Now next we are starting up with the natural vegetation. The natural vegetation of taiga region mostly consists of evergreen coniferous trees. Evergreen because they do not shed their leaves and coniferous because the trees look cone shaped with the short branches carrying needle shaped leaves. The conical shape of the trunk having broad base and tapering tops gives stability to the trees even during the winters when the cold, strong winds blow. The main trees found in this region are fir, hemlock, poplar, cedar, yellow birch, maple, etc. These trees consist of softwoods which provides most of the lumber and thus are of great economic importance. These forests are moderately dense. So now let's read. The natural vegetation are forests usually known as taiga or virgin forest. Natural vegetation means plants or vegetation that grows without human interference. The region has mainly evergreen coniferous trees which do not shed their leaves. The important coniferous trees in this region are pine, spruce, fir, maple and cedars. The trees have needle-shaped leaves which prevent loss of moisture by transpiration. Transpiration means loss of water vapor through the stomata of the leaves. As these regions experience less evaporation, so the transpiration is also less and the surface of the leaf is very small. These are softwood trees and the wood is used in making paper, matchstick, plywood, furniture, sport goods, etc. Now next we have human adaptation. In taiga region, the summers are too short to grow crops. Mainly barley, oats, sugar beets, potatoes and vegetables are grown in this region. Lumbering is the main occupation of people living in this region and fishing is mostly practiced in summer season. Now here lumbering means the harvesting of forest products and their conversion into the various products like pulp, newsprint paper, timber, etc. Or in the layman language, we can say lumbering means cutting down of trees for the commercial use. The hunting of fur-bearing animals like silver fox, muskrat is an important activity in Canada and Siberia. Some fur-bearing animals are also reared in the fur farms. So now let's read. Human adaptation. The extremely cold climatic condition for a major part of the year and a very short summer season are unfavorable, means not suitable for agriculture. The soils are generally poor and of glacial origin, sandy, clay, and pebbly, means it contains small stones. The cultivation of barley, oats, and potatoes is limited to the southern margins of the region because as we are going on the higher altitude, the temperature is getting cooler and cooler. Lumbering is the main occupation of the people in the areas, means cutting of trees, which is easily accessible. Accessible means available. The softwood from the coniferous forest is widely used in manufacturing of wood pulp and paper. This is the reason that the Canada has the best paper quality in the world. Newsprint, matches, staple fibers, furniture and building material. The hunting of fur-bearing animals like muskrats, erin and silver fox are important economic activities as their fur is used in making jackets, caps, etc. Some of the fur-bearing animals are also reared in the fur farms in Canada and Siberia. Fishing is mostly popular in the summer season while lumbering is in the winter season. Now next we are going to start up with the tundra region. The tundra is a Finnish word which means barren land. The tundra region lies beyond the Arctic Circle, that is 66.5 degrees north in the northern hemisphere. There is no tundra region in the southern hemisphere. Tundra is the name of the vegetation and there is no corresponding tundra vegetation in the southern hemisphere beyond Antarctic Circle. Extensive tundra regions have developed in the parts of North America, Europe and Asia. In North America, it is found in the northernmost parts of Canada and Alaska. In Europe, it is found in northern Scandinavia, Greenland and Iceland, and in Asia, it is found in the northern Russia. So now let's come back to our reading. Location and area. Tundra is a Finnish word which means barren land. Barren because no vegetation grows here because of the extremely cold climate. The tundra region is a vast lowland lying along the shores of Arctic Ocean. It lies beyond the Arctic Circle, that is 66.5 degrees north in the northern hemisphere, and includes the extreme northern parts of North America, Europe and Asia. The tundra region is not in the southern hemisphere due to the absence of land in these latitudes. Now next we have the climate of tundra region. The tundra region is characterized by long and severe winters and short cool summers. Winter lasts for 9 to 10 months. The temperature during the winter is below freezing point, which may be as low as minus 40 degrees Celsius sometimes. There is continuous period of darkness in winter season. The northern lights called aurora borealis are observed in the sky in winters, and it happens because of the Earth's magnetic field draws solar particles into the polar region. The summers here are short and cool. They last only for about 2 to 3 months. The sun remains above the horizon at a low angle, so due to very low angle of incidence, the sun rays are not so effective to heat up the atmosphere. Thus, the temperature varies between 2 degrees Celsius and 10 degrees Celsius, and there is almost 24 hours of sunlight. Arctic region experience midnight sun in the month of June when the sun never rises or sets but remain above the horizon at a low angle. This is why the Norway is known as the land of midnight sun. The tundra region is also known as a cold desert as rainfall is less than 25 cm, leading to the scanty vegetation and sparse population. So now let's read. The main features of the climate in the tundra region is a general absence of insolation. Insolation means incoming solar radiation and very low temperature throughout the year. The average annual temperature is about minus 12 degrees Celsius. The winters are long and bitterly means extremely cold, while the summers are short and cool. The temperature during the summer season varies from 2 degrees Celsius and 10 degrees Celsius, and the warmest month is the June. This we have already discussed. The daily range of temperature is very low due to the little difference in day and night temperature. Daily range of temperature is the difference between maximum and minimum temperature of the day, and annual range of temperature is the difference between maximum and minimum temperature of the year. And this is because in summer the temperature may go up to 12 degrees Celsius, and in winters it may fall till minus 48 degrees Celsius. So the range of temperature is quite high. The ground surface is covered with the snow for at least 8 to 9 months in a year. The region experiences cold storms known as blizzards. This we have already done in Taiga region also. The ground is permanently frozen and it is known as permafrost. The precipitation is mostly in the form of snowfall and the rainfall is cyclonic in the origin and brought by the westerlies. The total annual rainfall is about 25 centimeter. Now, here the precipitation is a condensed form of water vapor that falls on the earth's surface in the form of rainfall, hail, snowfall, sleet, etc. And cyclonic rainfall means the rainfall which occurs when the warm and the cold currents converge and a front is created. It is also known as frontal rainfall. Now next we are starting up with the natural vegetation of tundra region. Tundra region is the ice-covered sheet beyond Arctic Circle and is devoid of trees completely. There is a stretch of Arctic swamp land developed on the top of permanently frozen ground. There is a sparse vegetation in tundra region as the ground remains frozen because of the temperature that is below 10 degrees Celsius throughout the year. Mostly mosses and lichens are grown here because they can withstand the freezing temperature. But now the climate is pushing the plants and flowers into the Arctic region. Flowering plants come to the life during short summer season. The land looks like bright with the colorful colors. Some plants complete their life cycle during the short summer season. Their seed remains frozen beneath the cover of the snow and sprout again in the summer when the snow melts. So now let's come back to our reading. Natural vegetation. The plant cover in the tundra region is extremely limited due to the extreme cold weather and the absence of minimum amount of insolation. Insolation means the incoming solar radiations. The vegetation is sparse, means scattered, due to the short growing season and severe frost, which also occurs during the summer season. Most of the plants are tufted in form and range in height between 5 cm to 8 cm. It means they are not very high. Moss and lichen grow here as they can withstand freezing temperature. The evergreen flowering plants blossoms on the ground during the short cool summers. They occur in scattered patches and provide pastures for the reindeers. Now next we have human adaptation. Climate of tundra region is not favorable for human settlement. So this region is sparsely populated. The inhabitants of tundra region are known as Eskimos in North America, Lapps of Scandinavia, Samoyeds of Siberia, and Yakuts of Lena Basin. The people are still leading the very primitive life. They depend on hunting and fishing for their essential needs like food, clothes, and shelter. They use seal fat as fuel for both heat and light. They hunt reindeer also. But now, the mode of life for the natives of tundra have changed in the recent years due to the contact with external people. They use rifle for hunting instead of traditional harpoon. Tents are made up of waterproof canvas instead of sealskin. Many inhabitants work in mines. They are also migrating from American tundra to find work in the cities. Reindeer farms are established by Russian government. Many fur-bearing animals are also reared in such farms. Glasshouse cultivation, also known as greenhouse, has been introduced in the European tundra. So now let's read. The extremely cold climatic conditions do not encourage permanent settlements. The Inuits or Eskimos of North America, the Lapps of Scandinavia, the Samoyed and Yakuts of Siberia used to lead the nomadic life. Hunting and fishing were main occupations. They also traded in fur and other animal products. Now, many of them live in permanent wooden houses having all the modern amenities means facilities. Reindeer farms have been established in Russia. Glass houses have been set up for the cultivation of vegetables to meet the need of local population. Glass houses help in trapping the sunlight and further help in growing of plants. So now students, with this we are ending up with the topic of the day and we have also completed with our all natural regions. So please revise the complete topic and please solve the related exercises.